I'm Keith Riley. I play 12-string guitar, electric guitar, and I write songs and sing.
Well, yeah, Shape of the Rain started with a kind of a collection of two families, related families, in Eckington and Renishire, and they were the Rileys and the Woods. The Wood being me being from Eckington, Brian Wood, and Keith and Len Riley from Renishire. Keith was my cousin. He taught me to play guitar, and then the usual thing happens is that you become. We actually went out, me and Keith, as a duet, dressed in as comical. People will say comical at this time, but we used to have as black velvet trousers, as red velvet waistcoats, blue shirt, and I think we had black ties or red ties or something like that. We went out doing some Everly Brothers songs, and the family and the community took a little bit of interest, and then we started to extend it. We brought Keith's brother on board, and then in time we brought Ian Waggett, Tag Waggett, on board from Eckington, and so we started rehearsing as a band. I think Keith, when we interviewed Keith might remember the names of the bands, but we ended up being called Shape of the Rain, and we rehearsed on Duxet Lane in Eckington, which was my mother's house, and that's how we kicked off.
I'm Tag Waggett, and I was the last person to join Shape of the Rain, and I used to watch Brian and Keith playing with a band called The Gear then down at the church hall in Eckington, and I used to play in a band. I can't remember the name of the band. And then we used to go and watch them play as well at Eckington Youth Club, where Brian's dad said to me, "Why don't you come down and play drums with our Brian and Keith? They're looking for a drummer." Spike, who was the original drummer with The Gear, was going to university. So I thought about it and I never went down, and then Brian eventually came up and he said, "Just come down and listen to what we're doing and what influence, what music we're listening to," because I was listening to The Shadows then and things like that. And Brian and Keith, they were into all the Tamla Motown stuff and soul stuff, which I'd never heard of before. And so I really liked what they were doing, and eventually I joined the band.
We were interested in the American West Coast scene, and once we got involved in listening to and trying to play this West Coast music in America, we started to write our own material, you know, and that was the first kind of major step. We had got a big following in Sheffield and Chesterfield. The community in Eckington, they backed us, you know. The community in Eckington were fabulous, really, because all the people and the teenagers, we used to do Eckington Youth Club, the Eckington Church Hall, we used to run dances at Eckington Church Hall. And the community in Eckington, the young community, and the slightly older community, took an interest in these lads who were rehearsing on Duxet Lane, which were brilliant. Yeah.
We used 12-string guitars, which people had not really got into, but we actually used two, which was very rare. In fact, I'd never known anybody have two 12 strings in a setup before. And we blossomed from there, and we bought a lap steel, which is something that nobody had ever used in rock music around here. I don't know about anywhere else, but Brian used to play that, and we wrote songs around that and the 12-string guitar and the harmonies from the Everly's days. People had never really got into that, and so we were something different. We weren't playing Shadow stuff or Cliff Richard or what have you. We were doing something different, and it just blossomed from there.
I think it's nice for when we all start learning an instrument, we always think that we want to be a star, that we're going to be a star, which is, it's a great idea. Dreams are a great thing. And the first thing to do when you buy your first guitar is you go into your bedroom and you start posing in front of your mirror. And if you haven't got your guitar, it's actually the old sweeping brush. As youngsters, when we were 13, 14, we did it. Nobody could see us doing it because that was his first stage of trying to be a rock star. And I have no objections to these youngsters that we teach down in S21 Live, that they said they do that and say, well, great fun, great fun.
I think it's when you start doing the university circuits and things like that, and playing with different bands, and we play with people like War and Jethro Tull and things, you get to meet the people, especially like Pink Floyd. in the changing area with them, and you could just go up to them and speak to them like Led Zeppelin. They're very approachable, and you could just go and have a chat to them, and they tell you what's going off, and everything was just opening up. Music-wise, everything was just opening up then. Everything was just changing. So a really exciting time, and like playing in London and places like that, and it just unbelievable to play the Marquee because everybody else had been there, the Beatles and things like that, and it absolutely marvellous. We used to play like the Speakeasy and used to go in there and be on stage. Next thing Paul McCartney comes in, or Ginger Baker or Eric Clapton's in the audience watching you play, which is like unbelievable. So we used to come back to Eckington and say, oh, we just met all these different people. Just amazing.
There's big highlights. The first highlight was acquiring a record contract with the Elvis Presley label, RCA Records in Ian. We got the contract, which were great for us. You know, the band from Eckington, Renishire. You know, we were going to be stars. You know, so that was a great feeling to get you a record contract. But at the 60s, 70s, early 70s, it was a great time. It was a great time. So we were playing all with we used to support Pink Floyd, Fleetwood Mac, Free, some Led Zeppelin. The remaining members of the band might remember more bands than me. When she started mixing with the stars, you felt like you were getting near to the situation, you know.
We did Abbey Road. We recorded a track at Abbey Road, Hello 503, and we also played the Cavern, the Speakeasy, Marquee, which was like a mega gig. Only big people played the Marquee, but we did it. In fact, we did a double booking that night. We played Marquee and then Pheasantry in Chelsea. I can't recall the band we supported at the Marquee, but yeah, we did it. From Eckington and Renish home, but we did it.
Oh, yeah, some fantastic laughs. It's been a really good, you know, family thing. It's been really good. We had lots of different people we met on the way and that, and it's been fantastic. Yeah, some really good laughs.
Had the magic potion and it took effect on me. I can see past all the mountains, I can walk on the sea. I seen the face of someone that I thought I knew. Maybe it was someone else and it wasn't you.
Something went missing in my life, especially, and it's good to have that something back, because I can't put into words really the feeling between the four of us. It was absolutely great, and it's coming back.
And it was just nice to come down, meet each other again, and have a laugh and talk about the old times. And then we said, like, well, it'd be nice to get together and do some of the old songs. The songs we did, we recorded down at a place called Rockfield in Monmouth, and the studio was really good down there, but then I think technology has moved on. So it's just nice now to have all this new equipment and the facilities here to get recording again.
I think actually from the start we had a different point of view to everybody else. We just wanted to produce good music, and I think we did.
Good vibe, weren't it?
Yeah, fabulous.
And we had that feeling between ourselves that we looked after each other, like Brian said, and there was something different about it all.
Yeah, you know, we never always fancied being rock stars, and perhaps that dream's still there. We're not bothered about being famous. It's just we're enjoying this quality. We're producing a good quality of life. You know, like you take Mick Jagger. You know, people might not realise, but Mick Jagger's family is Eckington-based family, and he's kept going. You celebrate next year 50 years of Rolling Stones, which is fabulous. Perhaps we're enjoying that out.
Taking them off, yeah.
Actually, on the Facebook page, it's been asked by loads of people. In fact, they've been asked from people because the contacts are people. We've got people in Japan, Australia, Thailand, Holland, Germany. And oh yeah, there's one area that we've actually forgot. We had
We used to do Barnsley, yeah.
Yes, we've had an email from somebody in Arkansas, America. We never released anything in America. We never released. But there's all of a sudden we get an email saying that in Arkansas, when are we releasing good new tracks? When are we playing live? So there is a lot of interest as to when, if and when. No, not if and when we are going to play live, which we are going to do. What people might not realise is that Shape of the Rain in the 60s, 70s, we were classed as psychedelic. We used to use these oils at back of us like Pink Floyd. We didn't see Pink Floyd. We just did it.
That's right, yeah.
We got smoke. We had the famous thing is that we tried in them days, a smoke machine on stage was some antique machine, and we used to put powder on this electric fire, which created the smoke. And one night, I made the big mistake of putting too much powder on it.
No, you didn't, Brian. You went, and then.
We couldn't. When we got on stage, we couldn't see Tag on stage because it was just one big mass of smoke. So we were classed as psychedelic. And when we did the album, we wanted to do it psychedelic. And there is a lot of interest in psychedelic bands in Japan, but we were psychedelic. So we're trying to produce the album as we saw it in the 60s, 70s. The bands in the 60s, 70s were excited. We were exciting. We're going through this excitement again. You know, what we're doing with Shape of the Rain, we have a fabulous situation that I am part of, the S21 Live music project within Eckington and the S21 area. The project is fabulous. It is fabulous. We're all encouraging the youngsters within our area and the parents, the adults within the S21 area. In fact, we have a lot of people interested from Sheffield and Chesterfield. We are taking students from different schools in Sheffield and Chesterfield as coming down and gaining the experience of the S21 project. It is a fabulous project. And the thing about it is that Keith and Tagger and Mark were close friends, and as soon as they learnt about this 21, they were knocking on the door. In what way can the Shape of the Rain provide experience and excitement within the S21 project? We, as S21 and as Shape of the Rain, we are committed to the community. We want to pass on this experience and the excitement.
We've got together again as Shape of the Rain and re-recorded Wasting My Time, and it will be available on March 2012 on iTunes. So
Buy it!